Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us for today's demo day.
Yeah,
If you are new to our events, we hold demo days, or we try to hold demo days every Wednesday. And then the idea is to get startups to pitch and to get you guys to watch and get a reference of how a good pitch deck looks like, and how you should deliver your company's story. So we bring new guests every week. You can join us at the FounderHub community. The link is below. And today's guest is Nidhin from the company and Enotwo.
yeah, that's correct. Hi,
Uh,
Kaya. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure for me to present my company, and I would love any comments and feedbacks regarding the presentation which I'm about to show.
Fantastic. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah,
Nitin, go ahead and share your screen so we can get started with the deck.
yeah.
As a reminder to you guys in the community, this is a live session. So if you want to interact, or if you want to ask questions, or if you have any doubts about your pitch deck, go ahead and leave them in the YouTube video comments. Nitin, the floor is yours. So go ahead and get started.
All right. So the company which I've started at is called NO2, which represent for oxides of nitrogen. So the problem which I'm trying to tackle is the uh, day-to-day problem. It's not only linked to UK alone, but it is faced everywhere in the world. So it is the air pollution, and die each year due to air pollution just in UK, and it's a significant figure when it compared to a worldwide problem. So this is as per the Committee of Medical Effects of Air Pollution. So this is the committee which is set up over here. So how is this oxides of nitrogen which is formed, which is the main culprit? Um, so when you have oxygen and heat and nitrogen in the engine, you get nitrogen dioxide. So that's how I represent with this NOx triangle. So if you're able to eliminate any of these three, then you will not get any nitrogen dioxide in the exhaust. So definitely for any internal combustion engines, you cannot eliminate oxygen nor heat because it's a heat engine. But the only thing which you in an engine. So coming back to how this is being tackled today is by using SCR technology, where they dose urea in the exhaust and nitrogen dioxide gets neutralized. And you need a secondary urea tank. And if people are driving the latest vehicles, you might be pouring in AdBlue or diesel exhaust fluid additional to your fuel every 1,000 miles or so. Let's see some figures, what we are looking at. So just in EU alone, there are around 6.5 million trucks in circulation, and 95% still use diesel. And only 30% of those 6.5 million trucks are being equipped with this SCR technology, which you can see it on the slide. And everybody's talking about electric, but it's only 0.1%. Here you can see the data from ACEA, that's Automobile Manufacturers Association. And from this chart, we can understand that diesel is going to be as per the study, it shows that diesel is going to be the prominent transport choice till 2042. So how are we still going to solve this pollution problem, because diesel is going to be there for another 20 to 30 years? That's where NO2 comes in. So what NO2 does is it's actually producing oxygen on board the vehicle, thereby eliminating nitrogen in the first place. So you do not get nitrogen dioxide in the exhaust, or it's never been produced in the first place. And NO2 has been targeted for tier 1 manufacturers as well as for retrofit contractors, and planning for a direct installation program, but most probably I'll be subcontracting it, and also licensing. So not any company can just install it without the right knowledge. Since oxygen is very dangerous, you need to know how to install things correctly. So this from the chart, so direct retrofit, tier 1 manufacturer, and licensing, that will be our revenue model. So let's compare with what's happening today, the competition, and Enotwo technology. So Enotwo technology will be fitted in the air intake, whereas the SCR technology is actually fitted in the exhaust. Same like the catalytic converter, you have a chemical catalyst, which is in the exhaust. So for Enotwo, you don't require any diesel exhaust fluid because it's a one-time installation, and you are basically converting air to oxygen. And there's no chemical process, it's actually a mechanical process. And the emission standard will be beyond Euro 6. And you can see the selling price from the chart, targeting at 40,000, 35 to 40,000 pounds. But the SCR technology, which is sold today at 17,500 pounds roughly. But if you look at the annual cost, because of the diesel exhaust fluid, you will actually cover the cost in the first year itself if you're running the vehicle for at least 200,000 miles, which is very common for these vehicles. So where am I today with the technology? So it was an idea stage last year. I've completed the design. So the prototype is in process. So I will get the bench test prototype ready in August of this year. Then the next stage is to do the testing. So you have to do vigorous testing and to find out to a best choice of how you can place it on a bus or a truck. And for phase 3 will be actually on a bus or a truck. And simultaneously I have to take care of the IP and all that on the side. So I mentioned the timeline. So roughly it will take 2 years for this process. So if I'm estimating it correctly, as per my team, if we raise 1.6 million in end of this year, by end of this year, then I'll be able to sell at least 100 units by 2021. So that's in 2 years, and you can easily recover the cost in 2022. So that's what this figure showed. With finance and stuff, I'm not actually raised money because I'm spending it for the prototype at the stage. And once I get the data, then I will raise money, which will make it more significant. And that's about it. And thank you. You can raise any questions if you like.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for that pitch, Nidhin. Go ahead and unshare your screen so we can see you again.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll notice, and if anyone's watching and has watched some of our previous events, is that these slides are not slide bean slides.
No, it's not slide bean.
Yeah, I do think that whether you choose to use slide bean or not, I do believe that the slides need some work. They're a little bit all over the place in terms of design and margins and kind of like there's no like ongoing visual style that goes along all the slides. It's fine. Maybe at your stage, the pitch deck is not the first priority, and which leads me to my first question, which is, where are you and what do you need? Are you trying to raise money now? Are you gonna build the prototype yourselves? Like, what's your first concern as a founder right now?
The thing is, lots of people are concerned if the technology will actually work or not. So it was difficult for me to raise funding for this project as such. So what I've done is I've invested some money to make the prototype. So that's in process. These data, and I'll be certifying it by a third party with this data. Then it'll be a proof that the concept works, and then I can actually go and raise some money.
Okay. And how big is your team, and or talk to me. This is obviously way out of my scope. I build software tech products.
Yeah,
But talk to me about
it's
this
harder.
process. How big is your team now? What's the dynamic of work? Are you 100% dedicated to this?
Yeah, I've been working on this for past 2 years, and yeah, I'm full time on this. Even though I'm not making any revenue out from it, somehow surviving doing this and that. But I'm developing this product, and I've gathered at least 5 to 6 people who are really interested in this project, and I've given out some shares, and that's how they are helping me out.
Great. Bringing up the first question from the audience, from Eric Harris. How did you decide that this particular approach would be the direct one to tackle?
It's a good question. The thing is, I really don't know. But it's nothing. It's not based on a hunch. It's a hardware product, and the only way you can do this and make money out from this is to commercialize it. And there are a number of ways to commercialize it. Either I can just go on IP, just focus on the IP and sell off my. But it wouldn't make any sense if there's no sales happening. Then I wouldn't make any money out from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to have a control over the sales in the first place. Then probably I can sell my IP or something like that. I don't know if that will clarify his question.
Eric will let us know if that answered his question.
Right.
How about have you considered any sort of crowdfunding? If maybe not at this point where the technology is not ready, but I'm thinking that a Kickstarter type of platform could help.
Yeah.
Fundraise the production of the first batch of, I don't know, 1,000 units. I'm assuming that there's some value in producing these at large, at mass. So that could be an option to finance it.
Yeah, it's a good way to finance like through Kickstarter, but this is like a massive project, and your target customers are only a handful. You're not actually targeting like B2C customers, like customers. It's B2B. So there's no you will not get that momentum on a Kickstarter platform.
Got it. Yeah, that's true. All right. So, is there anything that we can do to help, or is there anything that from my experience on pitching and investors and so on, anything I can offer to help?
Well, I've got lots of feedback from different platforms, and I get lots of mixed opinions. Now the thing is, I've not mentioned my team on the slide, and if you present to an investor, the first question he'll ask, who are the co-founders? It's only you? Oh, so then we are not interested. I've got those like that type of opinion. Then since I formed the team, now the problem is it's difficult to see what will their contributions be later on when the company progress. That's the other part. So I need to see if anybody will be interested in the project or something like that, or from maybe on your platform. So you might know. And my pitch deck doesn't seem really focused on the market size, or I don't know how, because this is a very technical niche product. So it is very difficult to ask opinions to just normal people. You need to get opinions from companies, or like some scientists probably. something like that, which is difficult to target.
Yeah, yeah. So answering some of that and bringing in some questions from the audience, I think that what you need to prove in a pitch deck beyond anything is your ability to build and scale the product, but also the company ability to make money, which is something
That's
that is I think lacking a little bit in the way you present it, because I'm excited about the technology. I'm excited about the environmental impact, but it's still very far from going to market. If there's still research to be done, if production is a challenge, if installation is a challenge, then your ability to overcome those challenges to bring the product to market, uh, that speaks to the first question, which is, can this company build it? And then the second, which is directly related to the market, or to speaking to these potential customers, is, will people pay for this product?
yeah, that's
And
correct. Yeah.
and you need to know that you need to find the answer to that question now. I mean, very soon, because you're spending money. Even if
Yeah.
you're dedicating 100% of your time to this, you're spending money and time, and you want to answer that question as soon as possible. Whether it's talking to potential customers today,
Yeah,
showcasing a.
I'm actually in touch with some potential customers, and I'm trying to get a letter from them stating that if the product is priced at so and so, and if the technology says this is how it works, will you be ready to buy it? And so I'm trying to get a letter from at least some few companies, and that will be used for an investor pitch. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, absolutely. You should be doing that.
Okay.
Those letters of intent are the best proof that you can get today that the product's not it's not fully done developed. And I do believe that they make a difference.
Mm.
If you're talking about a letter of intent that could be a
Yeah.
5 or 6 figure deal for the company, then
Yes.
absolutely, those make a difference on the pitch deck. Let me move over to some other questions from the group. Some from Carl Payan. In my opinion, this is a project that will come with many challenges. I could be wrong, but red tape and dealing with tier one is going to be a longer process than presumed, where runway could go beyond 2 years. And I'm inclined to agree. I don't know what you think.
Well, I will not be directly working with a tier one manufacturer. So I'll be uh, subcontracting to a company which actually works with the tier one manufacturer. So this company will manufacture for the tier one, and I'll have contracts between this middle company. That's how I'm going to work.
Got it. Moving on to another question from Eric, or pretty much a follow-up question. These are competitors creating post-exhaust products. Pardon, I'm sorry. There are competitors creating post-exhaust products to capture and turn that into less harmful things such as CO tube. So are
CO2.
you sure that this is even something that can be productized on this end?
So the current products on the market to reduce the pollution is at the exhaust, as you mentioned. There's nothing at the intake, because the main, for example, the Volkswagen scandal, it was based on the AGR, the exhaust gas recirculation valve. And that valve, what it does is it will actually reduce nitrogen dioxide emission. So the main pollutant is the oxides of nitrogen, which is NOx, basically, in terms.
Hmm.
Uh, so if you can eliminate NOx, that's the best thing you can do. And currently, what these companies, what they do is they are actually processing the NOx which is coming out of the exhaust and purifying it. What I'm trying to do is I'm eliminating nitrogen from the beginning itself, so you don't get nitrogen dioxide in the exhaust at all. It's completely different technology.
Got it. Got it. And thanks for. I hope that clarifies that, Eric. Moving on to my last question from Carl before we run out of time.
Okay.
Carl, Carl says, if the system has the potential, why not work with a tier one manufacturer and then have them finance your project? Is that even possible to either file a patent today and then sell that patent to them, or start collaborating in some other way?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Now the thing is, if I work with the tier one manufacturer, let's say Mercedes, now the problem arises when I won't be able to sell to, let's say, Scania. Then Scania will have a bigger price. Well, so my aim is to approach all the tier one manufacturers and, let's say, retrofit contractors. So that's the best way to capture the market. Maybe at some point where if I'm not able to progress any further, maybe I should approach just one tier one manufacturer and do it.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. You're aiming at your ability to build and scale the technology yourself, and then try to sell it to all of them rather than just one.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I think that, but you should. My suggestion, and probably my last suggestion around this is, you should know when to stop. Pitch a
That's
few
right.
investors. Invest the money that you're ready to invest in this project. But if you're not able to get traction as a standalone company, then I think that this exit, the exit of going to a tier one manufacturer,
that's correct. Yeah.
would make sense.
That's a strategy. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Kaya.
Awesome.
Very
So,
interesting.
Nidhin, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
To the people watching, thanks a lot for joining us on this demo day. We have another one coming up next Wednesday. And we have a bunch of new events in preparation, including some new live YouTube events. So if you have any ideas or suggestions or feedback about this, go ahead and add it in the comments, or shoot me a direct email. I'll link that below. Thanks everyone again for watching. Nidhin,
thank you everyone for your
best of luck with your project,
All right.
and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.